On the morning of the 18th of December, 1995, villagers in a small Indian village spotted something unusual shining in the middle of their fields. When they went closer, they were stunned to see a strange rifle, one unlike anything they had ever seen before. As they were still wondering how such a weapon ended up there, they noticed 35 more rifles scattered around. Word spread quickly, the entire village gathered, and soon the police arrived on the scene. The situation became more alarming when a nearby pond revealed grenades capable of destroying tanks. This bizarre incident happened in Purulia district of West Bengal, where an unexplained drop of weapons from the sky still remains one of India's biggest mysteries. Welcome back to another video on Zimvoice. When the police searched the surrounding area thoroughly, they discovered several broken olive green boxes tied to parachutes. In total, 3 such boxes with parachutes were recovered, but the question remained, who dropped them and why? Before long, the Indian Army also stepped in. One thing was clear, if the boxes came down with parachutes, they had to be dropped from an aircraft. It was soon reported that during the night, a plane had been seen flying unusually low over Purulia. Could this be the same aircraft responsible? But the bigger question was, whose plane was it, and why were weapons dropped in Purulia? The boxes contained a massive arsenal. Nearly 300 AK-47 rifles, 25 9mm pistols, 2 sniper rifles, 2 night vision binoculars, over 100 grenades, and more than 16,000 rounds of ammunition. Altogether, the consignment weighed over 4 tons. The story quickly reached the media, and the entire country wanted answers. Why, and by whom were such heavy weapons dropped over Purulia? Investigations began, and flight logs were checked. Evidence showed that a Latvian Antonov and 26 aircraft owned by a company called Latvian Air had taken off from Karachi, Pakistan, entered Indian airspace over Varanasi, passed directly above Purulia, then exited near Kolkata before heading towards Thailand and finally landing in Phuket. Was this the plane that dropped the weapons? At the time, there was no solid proof to confirm this suspicion. But soon, the aircraft made a crucial mistake that raised suspicions. When the pilots first requested permission to enter Indian airspace, they listed their destination as Cambodia, but in reality, they landed in Thailand. This inconsistency triggered red flags. A few days later, on the 22nd of December, 1995, while returning from Phuket, the same aircraft once again sought entry into Indian airspace. This time declaring its destination as Latvia, with a refueling stop in Karachi. By now, Indian authorities were fully prepared. As soon as the plane entered Indian skies, 2 IAF MiG-21 fighter jets intercepted it and forced it to land at Mumbai airport. This marked the beginning of an even more intriguing chapter. For 45 minutes after the aircraft landed in Mumbai, no security forces surrounded it. On board were 8 people, and understanding who they were is critical to solving the Purulia arms drop mystery. First was Kim Davy, a Danish national. For nearly 18 years, he had worked on various community projects across the world, including Guatemala, Russia, and surprisingly, agricultural projects in Purulia itself, the very district where the weapons were dropped. The second was Peter Bleach, a British citizen and former member of the UK's elite Special Air Service. He had later become a weapons dealer, but years later, it was revealed that he had also been an undercover agent for MI6. The third was Deepak Manikant, an Indian with Singaporean nationality and a follower of the Ananda Marga organization. Interestingly, The headquarters of Ananda Marga was located very close to the exact spot where the weapons had fallen. The remaining 5 were Latvian crew members. While the plane stood unguarded, Kim Davey quietly picked up some documents and disappeared from the airport. For many years, his whereabouts remained unknown. Soon after his escape, security forces finally surrounded the aircraft and arrested the remaining 7. Inside the plane, investigators found photographs of the Ananda Marga headquarters in Purulia and partially burned papers linked to the weapons. It became clear that these were the same people who had dropped the boxes. But the most important question was, why and who had planned the mission? During interrogation, Peter Bleach confessed that he was a weapons dealer. According to him, Kim Davey had ordered him to arrange a consignment of arms from Bulgaria, supposedly for the Bangladeshi military. Bleach claimed he suspected the weapons might be used illegally, and he even informed British intelligence, but he was told to proceed anyway. This raised another mystery. If these weapons were indeed meant for Bangladesh's army, why were they dropped over an Indian district instead of being delivered directly? The BBC later reported that the arms were actually meant for the Ananda Marga organization. Davey, who later resurfaced, admitted in interviews that he had been working with Ananda Marga followers, who he claimed were victims of state oppression in West Bengal. He said the weapons were for their self-defense. Davey made even bigger allegations that members of India's Congress Party, the Prime Minister, and even officials from RAW had secretly supported the plan. He further claimed that his escape from Mumbai airport was facilitated by political figures, including MP Papu Yadav and then Prime Minister Narasimha Rao. The CBI denied all such accusations, calling Davey's statements a fabrication to avoid extradition. At the time of the drop, West Bengal was ruled by the Communist Party of India, CPI. The Ananda Marga movement was gaining influence, and CPI saw it as a threat. Davey alleged that CPI cadres often attacked Ananda Marga members, disguising the violence as mob incidents. He claimed that central authorities could do little because the attackers were never identified. This, he said, was why he sought to arm them. But was Congress truly involved in helping him? Davey insisted that Congress wanted chaos in Bengal so they could dismiss the state government under presidential rule. According to him, if he had been caught in Mumbai, the entire truth would have come out. Hence, he was quietly escorted out in a black SUV, given a safe exit, and flown back to Denmark. Meanwhile, the 7 arrested, Peter Bleach, Deepak Manikant, and the 5 Latvian crew, were all sentenced to life imprisonment for conspiring against India. But in the years that followed, they were gradually released. The 5 Latvians were granted Russian citizenship while still in prison, and in 2000, at the request of Vladimir Putin, they were pardoned and released. In 2004, Peter Bleach was also freed, reportedly under pressure from the UK government. Later, a former MI5 agent, Annie Machon, confirmed that Bleach had indeed been an MI6 operative carrying out secret missions. Kim Davey, on the other hand, was never extradited. Danish courts refused to hand him over, fearing he would be tortured in India. During raids in the UK, authorities discovered documents linked to the arms consignment, bearing the signatures of a Bangladeshi army general, Muhammad Sobihul Bhuyan. Some of the boxes also had markings of a Bangladeshi military cantonment. However, Bangladesh's government dismissed these as forgeries. To this day, the Purulia arms drop remains an unsolved mystery. Who masterminded the plan? Who financed the operation? Was Davey truly the architect, or merely a pawn? Why did security forces take 45 minutes to reach the aircraft in Mumbai? And most puzzling of all, how did Davy manage to escape right under their noses? Nearly 3 decades later, these questions remain unanswered.